You're listening to Mind, Body, Home with your host, Sara Ann. I just wanted to start today's episode with a big sigh. A big sigh of relief, of just letting go, an emotional release. This weekend was filled with so many different emotions and thoughts and feelings. And so today is going to just be a from the heart sort of episode. I have nothing scripted here. I'm just going with the flow on this episode. I also have a commitment later this afternoon that I need to be prepared for. So, I'm just going to sort of lay it out there. I had a wonderful weekend. It was filled with a lot of community and joy and love. However, it was also filled with feelings of uncertainty, people pleasing, and boundary crossing. And so there was this really intertwined play and range of emotions that I had been feeling all weekend. And this morning, I sort of sat with these feelings and I took inspired action. I took action that I needed to take. And, basically, I feel like I'm really building up to a intense plot here. But really, what it boils down to is I was working part-time for someone who needed some help, and I saw that I had the capacity to help. And as the weeks went on, the level of commitment was sort of inconsistent. There was a lot of potential in this new partnership, but there was something that also felt off about it. And instead of honoring that from the very beginning, I decided to go the old ways that I would always go and want to people please and saving others, and I can handle it. And I'm in a coaching program now where a lot of this type of work I'm being confronted with. And looking back at the situation and realizing that it had the potential to be a lot of good things, it was really just a challenge for me to overcome, because my days of people pleasing and allowing others to cross boundaries, which really is me allowing it, right? Me not honoring my own boundaries. This situation was 100% a practice in honoring all of that. And I'm so proud of myself. Basically, the partnership was not working out in the way that we had hoped. And the other person just sort of kept trying to change it or sweeten the pot and, come up with ideas on how to make it work. And it didn't matter. It just wasn't hitting home for me. And I really just wanted to let it go. But I was really struggling with saying that because this person reminded me of someone else in my life. And once I made that connection, that's when I realized that this is not an opportunity for work. This is a challenge. This is an opportunity for me to recognize what is actually happening here. And in that moment, in that intuitive flash, when I saw that this person represents another relationship in my life where I had felt less than and, did not have clear boundaries, is when I realized that this is still not healed within me, that this person, because I know that every single relationship in our life is a mirror for things that need to be healed. And in that moment, I realized that this was my opportunity to practice everything that I have been integrating in my life in this moment. But it also took a conversation with my husband. It took a conversation with a sweet friend of mine, both of them willing to listen to let me sort of play it out of my head. And both of those conversations is really what boosted my confidence to, end things. And so just this morning, I sent a very loving email to this work partner and just said, this isn't working out in the way that I think we both had hoped it would. And it's no longer a good fit for me. And I simply said, I can no longer support you. And I hit send. And I'm so grateful because the response received was also very kind. And, I'm just so freaking proud of myself because this is a huge step for me. I'm the person that always wants to help, always wants to hold space for others, all while ignoring my own needs, my own intuitive guidance. And I've been studying and developing my intuition for, the last 5 years. And it's still a practice. I can't express to you how important it is to understand how your intuition speaks to you, is practicing it daily. It really is the greatest gift. And, big shout out to Kim Chesney as my mentor. Being a part of her world and her community is the reason why I am where I am. My intuition is just on fire. And I'm so grateful to be able to witness it and love on it. And I just feel amazing. I feel amazing, but I also tortured myself a little bit, ruminating about it all weekend. And so I know there's still work to do, and I want to get better at listening and taking intuitive action a little sooner so that I can stop playing it over in my head or being the over explainer as to why I can't commit to something, right? So I need to work on how to express that lovingly and in a way that honors my own voice and my own needs. And I'm doing that. So it's like I've got step one, I've got the intuitive work down. I'm very aware of my intuition guiding me. And now it's about integrating that into my communication methods without people pleasing, without allowing people to cross my boundaries. And that's the work I'm doing with my visibility coach, Poe, in her program, Coming Home to You. The purpose of me sharing that is that as a coach myself, I see the value in it because I am doing the work alongside you and everyone else. And it's really about that community that holds you up when you feel down, that supports you when you don't feel like you have the voice, right? Who holds you in your point of power when you feel powerless. The power of community is incredible. And that is what I value in the programs that I have done and what is inspiring me to create programs in the future for Mind Body Home. Where I'm sort of segueing into is that it really took a community of people to build that confidence in myself. And that's sort of what I'm going to touch on today. On the flip side of that torment, I also mentioned I had a really great weekend filled with love and support and community. And that is what I did yesterday. I attended a healing circle for healers. So everyone there was almost 20 of us. Everyone there was a coach or a healer in some capacity. We all work with other people and support them in their healing journeys, in their transformational processes. And I was new to the group, but I was welcomed with open arms. There were a few women there that I already knew, but regardless, there was an immediate connection. And some of the exercises and the practices that we did were so fulfilling and loving and supportive. And I just felt this immense love for the sisterhood. And I'm feeling that in so many areas. Like I have these pockets of women and community all around me. I just mentioned Kim and Poe and their communities. It's incredible what's happening there. I'm witnessing my own healing. I'm witnessing other women in their healing journeys. It's so fulfilling. And the word that I left with yesterday was resonant. Like so much of what other women are experiencing, whether it's in business or in their personal life, I'm just resonating with everything they're feeling. Because what they're feeling is what I'm feeling. And we tend to always feel alone that nobody understands us, especially for anyone who's on that healing path. And in order to create that genuine sense of community, we have to be willing to release what is keeping us back. And a lot of times that can be other sources of community. It can be family, it can be social circles, it could be working partnerships, right? So it's important to recognize that if you are on some sort of journey towards betterment or healing, and I would say if you're listening to this podcast, then you probably are. But if you're on any sort of journey of healing, the power of community is so incredibly important. So much so that it's inspiring me to create a community here, and I'm building it now. That was my takeaway from the healing circle is I want a community of people who want to do this work. My challenge has been because I have a podcast, I can't see you. I don't know who my listeners are. And I can see that you are subscribing. I'm gaining followers every day. Moving to YouTube has helped because I can at least get a thumbs up on my episodes, which is great. But I want to know more about you and I want to be able to support you and I want to be a part of your community. And it's not just about me supporting you and what I can do for you. That's what I find so beautiful in community is that not only do I show up to support you, but by you showing up, you support me, right? Like you subscribing and you guys commenting and you guys giving me thumbs up, that gives me reason to even show up and talk into this microphone today. That is the power of community. It's a beautiful exchange of giving and receiving. And that was also a huge takeaway from yesterday's healing circle is the power of being able to receive and not just give. I am building a community and I want to show up for you in a different way. I really don't know what this community is going to look like. I'm just sort of following the intuitive breadcrumbs as they reveal themselves to me and building it as I go. Another thing I'm learning to do is embrace my messiness and just 1% shifts. That's another thing that Poe's been teaching me is shifting just 1 degree is all it really takes to see the compounding effects of something. Whereas before, I wanted to build everything and it had to be perfect before I could present it. That's another part of my letting go process in my healing journey. So more to come on community for the Mind, Body, Home podcast. So I'm going to segue a little bit because I know that was all a really great story and thank you for giving me space to share. But now the question is, how does our home support this, right? Because I've talked about how our home is a supportive vessel for healing and transformation. It's literally a manifestation tool. And a lot of people don't know this, but within your home, there is an area that represents your connection to family and community. And I'm talking about ancestral family. This is your relationship to your parents, your grandparents, those that have come before you. This is not in connection to romantic partnerships or your children. Those are actually found in different areas of the home. This is focused on ancestral families, those that have come before us, those that have shaped our thoughts and belief systems, right? Whether you resonate with them or not, that is the family circle that I'm speaking to here. And community can really be community of all kinds. Anyone that you connect with and interact with on a daily basis is your community, your circle of friends, neighbors, coworkers, etc. So you could activate this area of your home if you're looking to build stronger communities or stronger sense of family connection, or maybe you're healing from a past family fallout, right? There's all sorts of reasons that we would want to activate this area. Additionally, this area is connected to the season of spring, the color green. So therefore, it represents new beginnings and growth. If you think about it, You are the embodiment of those that you surround yourself with, right? There's a lot of quotes that say and represent that. But if you think about the people you're surrounding yourself with on a daily basis, or maybe what you grew up thinking and believing, believing what your parents believed or grandparents, whatever, that all has a huge influence on your personal makeup and who you now have become. And so it's really important to recognize if you still align with those values or those beliefs or those thought patterns. Maybe you don't align with a lot of what you've heard growing up or what you hear in your community of friends, and you've already been distancing yourself from those sorts of people. And if that is the case, I want to say to you, it's really important to find a community that does support your values and your new beliefs, because that is a pathway to your healing. Because you cannot do it alone. You're never supposed to do it alone. Okay. And that's really hard for people. I know, because I am healing, still working on being one of them, right? We think we can do it all. We are the backbone for the family or our friend group. We are the perfectionists. We are the people pleasers. And we are the ones that think that we have to do it alone. And I want to just remind you, you don't have to do it alone. So if you recognize yourself in any of that, activating this community section of your home is going to support you in welcoming a new community that can support you and love on you and witness you in your healing journey and hold you up in those moments when you feel powerless, like I mentioned before. So you could also activate this not only if you want to invite a new community, but if you have trouble starting new things, or you want to create more harmony in your family, or you need to forgive and heal a relationship with someone in your family or with a friend. This is going to help you attract strong, healthy friendships. These are all reasons that you would want to activate this area of your home. Of course, if you've been listening to me for a while now, you know that the first step is decluttering. So it's really important to remove things like photos or memorabilia that reminds you of family or friends or social circles that no longer resonate with your new interests and desires. If you are recovering from past hurts or anything like that that feels like it holds some sort of negative energy, it's important to remove those items from this particular area. You don't have to throw them in the garbage. We just want to get them out of this area. Next, I recommend just doing a little space clearing here. You could simply burn a stick of incense. You could use sage or whatever it is that you like, even just burning a candle or using a bell, anything that's going to shift any stagnant energy. Maybe it's an area of your home that is sort of underutilized. It'll be good to activate this area with some cleansing energy. If there's a window in there, I recommend opening it, letting in some fresh air. You're just looking to transform the energy of this space and bring a sense of new life to it. And so lastly, speaking of new life, the best thing to bring into this space after decluttering and clearing it is going to be a fresh live plant. If you have the budget to go buy a new plant, great. If you don't, you can maybe repurpose one from another place in your home, something that's just going to bring in that color green, something that is living, something that needs nurturing in order to grow. So a live plant is really one of the best things for this particular area. If plants aren't your thing, that's okay. You can also add some wood accents or anything else that is green, anything that speaks to you, but greens, wood objects, plants, these are really the easiest, most tactical ways to activate the energy of this space. My community center in my home is actually our great room, which is kind of fun. It doesn't always work out that way, but I also moved a plant into this space just this weekend to sort of nurture that sense of community for myself, not only the one that I'm building, but also the new ones that I'm becoming a part of. That's an area of my life that I really want to expand on as well. Now that I'm living in a new city, I've sort of been doing that healing work as I cut ties with a lot of family and ancestral patterns and belief systems. So I recognize the importance for me to stay grounded in my own work and nurture that as I share it with you, my new community. Again, I don't know what that community is going to look like in the long run, but I'm just following the breadcrumbs and taking action on all the intuitive guidance that is pouring into me. And so I'm looking forward to what is next. Until next week, I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Thank you so much for tuning in every single week. Jade Scott Design is a home and lifestyle brand aimed to support and balance mind, body, and home. Be sure to check out our website, jadescottdesign.com, to explore services such as mind, body, home alignment coaching and elemental interior decorating. You can also view home decor products in the shop, all of which are intended to help you bring spirit home. As we begin to expand our services and offerings, please ensure you are on our mailing list to receive exciting news and updates as they develop. You can find a sign up on our homepage or my link in bio in the show notes. We'll be releasing guest interviews for our summer series, in addition to launching new shop items, our YouTube channel, and expansion into wellness travel services. More to come on that. In the meantime, please support this podcast by following on your preferred streaming platform, leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, and of course, sharing it with your friends and family. Thank you again for your ongoing support.